All right, let me get all situated here. It is 9 o'clock in the morning here in East Texas. I am Mary from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and welcome to my weekly live chat. So, for those of you just joining me for the first time, welcome. For those of you that join me regularly, welcome back. Let me see real quick. I am live on Facebook every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time, and I'm live here on YouTube every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time. Today I'm indoors. Usually I like to go live outside on YouTube. I got Buster Kitty joining me here as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Jenny and Natasha. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You might hear Buster hollering at me in the shop because he's a weird cat. For some reason, he doesn't like it when you're not focusing on him, you're talking to somebody else. Alrighty, so today's topic is I like to grow weird varieties. I love to grow weird varieties, and I wanted to share with you a couple of those today. Now, the cool thing about my Facebook Lives is I can actually share links with you while I'm live so you can see what I'm talking about. I can't do that on Facebook. I probably could if I had another moderator, but I'll just leave that to you guys. You can check it out later. So in the description section of this video, you'll find a link to my website, marysheirloomseeds.com. You'll find a link to my comprehensive planting guide, my t-shirts, my cups, the new arrivals. Those are super fun for 2026. And so I don't have these specific varieties linked, but you can always go back and check it out. By the way, if I want to make sure you guys can hear me and see me today. I'm inside. It is super, super windy outside. It's not even cold. It's a really nice temperature, but it is so windy. I don't even know that you could hear me. It's so windy. Buster doesn't even want to go outside either. So he's just hanging out in the shop, playing with random stuff on the ground. All right. So the first one I'm going to share with you is in the, hey, Veronica, thanks for joining us. It's actually in the thumbnail that I shared. And this one is African horned cucumber. Oh, good. Natasha says you can see and hear me. African horned cucumber. It's also called kiwano. It's also called jelly melon. Hey, Asia Joe, thanks for joining us. And Esther's daughter. Yeah, we love Buster too. He's here. And Grim Gardens, thanks for joining us. So this is a really fun cucumber. It has a jelly center, hence the name jelly melon. The only problem is it is spiky. I mean, it is seriously spiky. I had to use my sturdiest gloves to harvest it, and then I had to be real careful. I actually did a video about harvesting and cutting it up and enjoying it, and little blooper moment, it like slid off the counter, and I'm like, oh wait, that'll go to my chickens. Chickens love it, by the way. My customers that have grown it said that their chickens have loved it. So it's not your typical cucumber. It is jelly inside, and that's what you eat. I feel like it kind of tastes like passion fruit. So if you've ever had passion fruit, that might be something that you might want to try. It's really, really fun. I am drinking a little bit of coffee this morning. So that's the first one. Now, I mentioned that we had new arrivals for 2026. I linked that in the description. You can see all of the new arrivals that I've added, or at least all that I've updated. And so the next one on my list of weird stuff is sea kale. These seeds are massive. Oh, thank you, Grim Gardens. You said you can see and hear me. That's very cool. So sea kale is a tender perennial. Hey, Agape Field, thanks for joining us. And I think that's a tender perennial from zones 6 to 8, or maybe it's 4 to 8. It's in the description of the actual variety. And you can always use a search option at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. So if you go to marysheirloomseeds.com, click the link in the description, and you just at the top of the page, there's a search bar. Type it in, search for it, and you'll see it. Or you can just look under greens, and you'll see all the different greens. So this one is originally from England, if I remember correctly, and it grows in saltier conditions. So for those of you that maybe live in an area where you have by the sea, where you have more salty air or saltier water, this might be one that would be good for you because it can grow in saltier soil. Now, I mentioned the African horned cucumber, how the actual fruit is spiky. The next one I'm going to share with you, I love to grow this weird stuff, by the way. It is just so much so that I'm actually doing a short little chat at Sorelli Farms, Bob Wells Nursery, Sorelli Farms. And I'm going to, they specifically reached out for me to talk about the unusual stuff. And so that's what kind of prompted me to do this video, because I know a lot of you follow me on Facebook, you follow me on social media, but you don't necessarily get to see me in person because I do different events in East Texas, but I've got customers all over the US. So for those of you that may miss this might be a really good one for you to watch this video. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And then you can get some of this information without having to come all the way to East Texas and listen to me chat. But if you are in East Texas, it is the last Saturday of the month at Bob Wells Nursery at Sorelli Farms. Definitely check it out if you are. Asia says, I appreciate your single seed packets after $20 shipping fee. Yep. Actually, it's all of the U.S., not just the lower 48. So Asia Joe makes an awesome point. If you are in the U.S. And U.S. territories even, so all 50 states and then some, I offer free shipping. If it's heirloom seeds only, and if it's $20 or more heirloom seeds only, you get free shipping. Otherwise, it starts at $4.50. I actually had someone reach out to me. They were pissed because I was gouging them on the shipping for $4.50. It was not the first time this person placed an order, which I thought was kind of weird. But my actual shipping cost for these is anywhere from $4.50 to $5.50, my actual shipping. So just in case you were wondering whether you order a single seed pack or 100 seed packs, your order gets tracking. So it's a little more expensive than if I just put it in an envelope and sent it. So yes, it's $4.50 if it's not $20 or more. But anyway, hey Crystal, thanks for joining us. Speaking of which, you're close to us. So New Zealand spinach is next on my list of the weird stuff I like to grow. The seeds are actually spiky. So when I plant these seeds, I have to wear my sturdiest gloves because I made the mistake the very first time. I just put it on the soil and I pushed it in with my finger. And when I pulled my finger out, it was stuck in my skin. Natasha says, I think $4.50 is an absolute steal for shipping. Right. So the actual seeds for New Zealand spinach are super spiky. And when I harvest seeds for these, I also have to wear my sturdiest gloves because they're pretty spiky. Now, here's the cool thing about New Zealand spinach. It's not just the seeds that are fun. The actual greens are a perennial. Yeah, shipping starts at $4.50. If it's just a single seed pack and you're in the US, it starts at $4.50. So the actual greens have a feeling like a succulent. SC Prepper says, just shared seeds with a friend who lives 2 hours away and spent $7 just to ship. Exactly. So I pay a little less than if you went to the post office because I ship thousands of packages and I have a program, but still, you know, it's a big expense for a small business. And anyway, totally off topic. Let's talk about seeds. But thank you, Asia Joe, for mentioning that because it is something that I've had people order like $19 worth of stuff, and I'm like, if you had just ordered $1 more, you would have gotten the free shipping. So, and that information is on my website, but I think I'm going to make it bigger. Maybe I'll put that on the homepage so that you guys so that people will notice it. Because I hate to see people pay shipping on $19 when you could get free shipping on $1 more. So if you like weird stuff, no, that's okay. Asia Joe, I always appreciate the distraction. I'm easily distracted, so that's fine. So New Zealand spinach, the seeds are spiky. Hey, Sean the gardener, thanks for joining us. And the actual leaves, it's not an actual spinach, even though it's called spinach. It's not a spinach. We don't ship internationally except for Canada. There are a lot of restrictions. For example, like New Zealand, Australia, There are too many restrictions and things like that. So Veronica says, I love the weird stuff, but you don't have to be in the US or Canada to get some awesome information from us. So the New Zealand spinach is a good one. That's also a perennial as well. Eventually they kind of don't make it any longer, but I've grown these for 2 or 3 years here in Texas, and they do well. They're also a little more heat tolerant than, say, a regular spinach. They don't bolt like a regular spinach. Hey, Healy Means, thanks for joining us as well. All right, the next one, we're talking about weird stuff I love to grow, and maybe you guys have heard these, and maybe you haven't. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm enjoying my coffee inside today, and my chat today, because it is super, super windy outside, and I would be blowing away right now. I can hear stuff like flying all over the place outside. So I'm in the seed shop enjoying the warmth and my coffee, and a nice chat. I just need a little fire here. Not really. And we're in the seed shop. We can't have fire. We'll have a little fireside chat though. Maybe one of those little fake ones that look like fire. All right. Sean the gardener says, just planted some more giant onion seeds in the greenhouse. It's terrible here, wind and rain. I would love some rain here, but we're just getting the wind, unfortunately. How is your feral baby that got hurt? He's doing much better. He's standing at the door right now hollering because he wants me to let him out, but he's going to have to wait for a couple more minutes. Chioggia beet is the next one on my list. Now, this is a fun one. If you like beets, you might love this one. So most beets, when you cut a beet, a red one in particular, it looks like a slaughter. So for lack of a better word. So these ones are actually red and white inside. When you cut it, it looks like a peppermint candy, or a bullseye, depending on what your version of it. So it grows like a regular beet. The greens are prolific and beautiful, but then when you slice it in the middle, it's got a little bullseye in there. So one of these, I love to grow these because they're fun. And for canning purposes, they look amazing. So if you like to grow something weird, the Chioggia beet is a really good one. Now, I also like the golden beets, and I love a red beet like the Detroit dark red, but Chioggia is hands down my favorite. So we talked about sea kale and New Zealand spinach. Yes, you can definitely eat the greens of the beets. I eat them all the time. It's a double duty crop. Actually, you could call it a triple duty crop because it actually can break up dense, hard clay soil. So you use it 3 ways. I'm wearing my seed earrings again today. I made these. They're available at Mary's Heirloom Seeds if you want to check them out. Just something fun I did when I was bored. Like I get bored. All right, Royalty Purple Potted Bean. This is a bush bean, and the bean pods are actually purple. Now, the seeds inside here are not purple. The seeds inside are more of a dark tan color, almost like brown, really. But the actual bean pods are purple. I don't collect sea glass. That's a great question. So purple potted pea. Now, here's the thing about this. When you, Natasha says you wear yours all the time. Awesome. When you cook Royalty Purple Potted Bean, they turn green. So it's kind of fun to see them. I like to eat them raw because they're still purple. But once you start to cook them, they turn green. So I thought that was a weird thing too, because, a lot of things, they stay purple when you cook them. Broccoli and things like that. Healy Mean says, I planted garlic cloves in your green stock yesterday, mulched with straw and used insect protectant cover. Oh, you're in Southern California. Very cool. You're going to sow a root crop seeds. Very awesome. I love beets. My mom hates beets. My husband doesn't like beets either, but I love them. So, all right. So I got another one for you, another weird one for you. Now, you can find pictures of all this fun stuff at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. So unlike my Facebook live chats, I'm not able to share the links while I'm live, but maybe I will. So I tried the whole laptop thing while I was going live, and it was just difficult for me to do that many things at one time. I do it with a second device while I saw munched and I figured you meant mulched. There's too much distractions going on. And usually, to be honest, usually when I'm live on YouTube, I'm out in the garden and I'm doing something fun, or I'm just chatting about something. But if you like this type of chat, join me on Facebook every Wednesday. Now, I will say this. This Wednesday is Christmas Eve and I will not be live. But I will be live on Tuesday, the 23rd, on Facebook. Anybody can join me. If you have a Facebook account, you can join my live chat. And during my live chat, not only do I share links to the specific seeds I'm discussing, I also do a giveaway of all the seeds that I discussed during my live chat. Veronica says, today in rural Northern California, finish planting your garlic zone 9B. Very cool. I just finished planting all my garlic too. I usually have it done in October or November, but this year just got crazy. So we got a feral cat we rescued back in May, and then we've been taking care of him, and now he's doing much better. The shop, we went through a complete cleaning out of the shop and moving some stuff around. We got ready for 2026. Yes, it is winter here. Actually, in North America, December 1st is I'm going to totally mess this up. December 1st is the first day of winter on one calendar, but December 21st is our winter solstice, official winter solstice. It's also my wedding anniversary. Doc and I got married on winter solstice. It's just a fun month for us. So we're going to go off and do something fun today, and then I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. Probably I'll be in the garden. Green stuffer tomato is next on my list. So for those of you that have never grown green stuffer, I'm going to talk about this in just a second. Krista says, so glad you're addressing planting garlic. I'm behind in planting and worried it was too late for East Texas. So here's the problem. I usually plant in November, but when I went to plant in December, some of my bulbs were not in good shape. So I ended up having to compost a lot of bulbs, and that's my fault because I didn't store them properly. We stored them properly until we were sold out, and then my personal stash, I did what I tell my customers not to do, and I didn't store it properly. So I did lose some of it. So if you have garlic that you bought from me and you haven't opened it yet, you may have some losses, but I was still able to get a bunch of the soft neck varieties that were still in really good shape. Jenny says, that's your anniversary also. Well, happy anniversary to you as well. So green stuffer tomato, I highly recommend this. So I had a new helper in the shop this year, which was awesome. Both of my helpers have young children, so they won't be here next week because school's out. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. But one of them I have been introducing to all sorts of new stuff this year. So I gave her some green stuffer tomatoes. I gave her some garden peach tomatoes. She said the green stuffer was her favorite of all. So the really funny thing about the green stuffer tomato is it looks like a bell pepper. The meat inside is almost non-existent. And if you want to see what it looks like, you can go to my website and check it out. But if you go to the harvest recipe portion at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and if you look at the dill pickle dip recipe, if you look at that board of the cutting board of all the different veggies, that green that looks like a bell pepper is actually a stuffer tomato. It is so fun. The seed portion of it is just a small clump in the middle, just like a bell pepper. So it was so cool. Natasha says, gonna move to Texas just to work in the seed shop. Come on down. I met a lady yesterday. She's like, hey, Mary at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. And I looked at her and I was like, how do I know you? And it was a mom from one of the school groups that I donate seeds to. So that was super fun. I got to meet somebody. And I don't normally get recognized out in public. So the green stuffer tomato, super awesome, super fun. I know I love introducing people to new and weird and fun stuff. So the green stuffer, if you haven't grown it, it was so fun to grow, and I'm definitely going to grow it again. If you leave it on the plant for too long, it starts to turn a little more of a yellowish color than a green. Same thing happens to the green zebra tomatoes. They start out with a really vibrant green, and if you leave them on the plant for a little longer, it starts to turn a little more of a yellowish. Veronica says it sounds fun to grow and eat. It is. And you know what? Doc really liked it too. I love Cherokee purple tomatoes. And when I did a side-by-side comparison to the Cherokee purple and the Japanese black trifle, he liked the Japanese black trifle better. Go figure. But then when I introduced him to the green stuffer, he's like, I want more of those. So we all have our fun, weird stuff, right? All right, so next on my list, I actually have two for you. I need a coffee break. Enjoy your coffee break, guys. Oh, it's still hot. All right, so the next one on my list, I have two. They're both popcorn varieties. And you can't see it because it's backwards on YouTube. Early pink pearl popcorn and glass gem corn. So these are both popping corn varieties. These are both varieties that you can allow to dry even further to grind if you wanted to. But the early pink pearl is actually a pink popcorn. Super, super fun to grow. But the popcorn itself, once you pop it, is white. So the popcorn doesn't stay pink. And then the glass gem corn is another super fun one. It grows multiple colors in a single ear and multiple colors in a single bag or pack of seeds. So you might have some pink seeds, some green seeds, some blue seeds, some regular popcorn colored ones like the yellow. So you're going to have multiple colors in a single pack. Whereas, of course, with the pink one, you just get pink because that's supposed to be what it is. But the glass gem is so, so gorgeous. I actually did a video years and years ago. It was super cute to see again, where I brought corn, popping corn, to my sister's house, and my little nephew and my little niece and I popped it together. And if you missed that video, check it out. That's my nephew Eli and my niece Lily. They started a campaign called Come Say Hi for EB. It's a genetic condition that Eli has. And it's so cute to see them so little now because Eli's like 14 or 15 and Lily is like 16 going on 25. And it was just cute to see. So check out that video because it's so fun. I did another video the same night. I went home and I showed you how to harvest your glass gem corn. Super easy. You literally just twist your hand on the cob and you're good. Natasha says, I love that video. So cute. Me too. It was so fun. All right, I got two more to share with you. And I got Buster trying to get out. He's hollering at the door. All right, so second to the last, Buster Kitty, come here, is Tennessee sweet potato squash. Okay, so this is a funny shape. People say it tastes like a sweet potato. I don't think it tastes like a sweet potato. I've grown other squash varieties that taste more like a sweet potato than this one. If you harvest it too early, it tastes very bitter. So that's one thing I learned is you want to make sure with your winter squash that you allow it to fully mature on the vine if possible, because it will taste so much better and sometimes richer than if you harvest it too early. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. But I like this one because it's prolific. It produces these massive squash. You get so much bang for your buck for this one because they are giant squash varieties. So the Tennessee sweet potato squash, you could cook it up like a sweet potato and see if you liked it that way. But I didn't find that it tasted as much of a sweet potato as, say, like a kabocha squash. I love the kabocha squash. That's more like a creamier texture to me than the sweet potato squash. But very fun to try. Let's see, so many cool varieties today. I'll be avoiding laundry folding today to browse your site and daydream. Aw, awesome. And Veronica says your husband likes to grow popping corn so he can make his own outdoor Jiffy Pop. Very fun. Another one is the Dakota black popcorn. That's another really fun one. I gave that to my niece and nephew, and they popped it on the cob in the microwave. So that was fun too. We did ours at a like one of those little popping machines. Kind of fun. All right, last on my list here is actually, I shared this picture, I believe, on my Facebook page this morning, and that is cucamelon. It is not a melon. It looks kind of like a watermelon, but it's a cucumber, and it's teeny, teeny, tiny. And when you eat them, they like pop in your mouth like a grape. So it's definitely not your typical cucumber. I've had some people tell me how much they hate it because it's so difficult to harvest because they're so small. But I feel like sometimes some people just like to complain. I love the cucamelons. I love it to include them in school gardens. And so one person said they're invasive, and I wanted to clarify that too. They're not invasive. It's called that the term is that they easily self-seed. Borage, for example, Matt's wild cherry, for example, they can spread by dropping their seeds and they grow again. That doesn't make them invasive. It makes them free food. And that's the way I like to look at it. So, for example, this year I had an entire 4-foot by 8-foot bed of free Matt's wild cherry tomatoes because drop seeds grew. I strung them on like a trellis and just went to town with more tomatoes than I could possibly eat. I have bags of frozen tomatoes that I'll use for sauce during the wintertime, just because they self-seeded or reseeded, whatever you want to call them. I call them my donor plants. Exactly. And Natasha, it means less work. Anytime that I can get things growing without a lot of effort, I am super excited about it. So I'm definitely not going to be complaining about free food. I know, Krista. All right, so I have lots of seeds that I shared with you today. Now, just to recap, in the description section of this video, you'll find a link to my comprehensive planting guide, Mary's Heirloom Seeds, the new arrivals for 2026, if you want to check those out. And then on Wednesday, I normally go live on Facebook, and I share links to all the seeds that I'm discussing, and then I do a giveaway. Now, this coming week, I'm going to go live on Tuesday. That'll be December 23rd, because I'm going to take the whole day off on Christmas Eve and Christmas and just putter around in my garden, do whatever I want, and not work. Natasha says, I'm hoping to have tons of free yellow pears are definitely a good one. I've got a couple of great pictures. Same thing. Big bowls of free tomatoes. Yeah, did you hear that? He's hollering because he wants me to let him out. But we're chatting here. But also, if I'm on the phone, if a customer calls and he's in the shop, sometimes he'll holler at me because how dare I not pay attention to him and pay attention to somebody else. Alrighty, everybody. Oh, there he goes. He's attacking his towel. Cats are so funny. We bought him a nice bed, a nice little cat tower, but he prefers either a towel on a box or a towel on the floor. That's it. Go figure. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for spending your Saturday morning with me. I'm going to go out and check on my garden and hang out with Buster in the garden for a little bit this morning. And I'll probably get some seed orders out as well. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy planting.